The sun had just begun to set, casting an eerie orange glow over the quiet suburban town of Millbrook. It was a place where nothing ever seemed out of the ordinary, a town you could forget about as soon as you left. But that was before Golden Bite, the new fast food joint that had recently opened at the corner of Pine Street and 3rd Avenue. At first, it was nothing special, just another chain offering greasy fries and burgers with questionable origins. But the food was addicting. People couldn't get enough of it. Every day, the drive-through line stretched around the block, and the parking lot was constantly packed. The kind of place where, no matter how much you ate, you just wanted more. Toby, a local high schooler, had just started working at Golden Bite. It was his first job, and he'd quickly made friends with the other staff. The manager, Derek, was the kind of guy who always wore a forced smile, and the employees never saw him out of his crisp uniform. He was always there, overseeing everything. Too present, too perfect. But what Toby didn't know was that Derek had a dark secret. Golden Bite wasn't just a fast food chain. It was a carefully orchestrated experiment. The company had discovered a way to slowly poison its customers. It started innocently enough. Tiny amounts of an undetectable, odorless chemical were added to the food. At first, the side effects were subtle. Customers felt a little lightheaded, a bit more fatigued than usual. But soon, something started changing in the town. The regulars began showing up at the restaurant more often, looking disheveled, their eyes vacant. Toby noticed it one evening when a group of his classmates walked in. They ordered their usual burgers and fries, but something was off. Their skin had a strange pallid hue, their movements jerky and unnatural. They barely spoke, shoveling food into their mouths like they were starved. Their eyes had that hollow, glazed look, and their skin seemed to be rotting. "Hey guys, are you feeling okay?" Toby asked, his voice laced with concern. One of them, Karen, turned her head slowly, a twisted smile stretching across her face. "I'm fine, Toby," she slurred. "I'm just so hungry for more." Before he could respond, they all shuffled away to sit at a booth, their faces distorted with hunger. Toby's stomach turned, but he brushed it off. He had a shift to finish. Yet a nagging feeling gnawed at him, a strange sense of dread he couldn't shake. The next day, the symptoms spread. Customers started acting stranger than before, more aggressive, more ravenous. One man grabbed a tray of fries, shoving them into his mouth so fast he choked. But instead of choking, he seemed to enjoy it, his face contorting into a grotesque grin. The smell of decay hung in the air. Toby couldn't ignore it any longer. He decided to investigate. After his shift, he snuck into the back office and dug through the manager's desk. It didn't take long before he found a series of strange documents, blood work reports, chemical orders, and notes about the experiment. Derek had been part of a secret research project, funded by a powerful corporation. Golden Bite was the front, the test bed for their horrific experiment, poisoning the food with a substance that would slowly drive people insane, transforming them into flesh-hungry monsters, zombies. The food was laced with a neurotoxin that, over time, would turn the brain into mush, eroding all empathy, all humanity, until only hunger remained. Toby's heart raced. He could hear the distant moans of the customers out front, their eerie chants growing louder. Panic set in, but before he could leave, the door to the office creaked open. Derek stood there, his smile wider than ever, his eyes black as coal. "You're not supposed to know," Derek hissed. His voice was low, almost inhuman. "But it's too late. They've already started. The virus is in the food, in their blood. In you. You can't escape it now, Toby." Toby stumbled back, his heart pounding in his chest. "What did you do to them?" he demanded, his voice cracking. "They wanted to create the perfect customer," Derek replied, his voice eerily calm. "Someone who would never stop coming back. Someone who would crave our food. Forever." He stepped closer, his face distorted into something unrecognizable. But now, they want more than food. Toby turned and bolted for the back door, but as he reached it, he was met by a wall of bodies. The customers, his classmates, his neighbors, his friends, were there, their faces contorted in grotesque hunger. Their skin was falling off in patches, their eyes hollow, their teeth sharp and yellowed. They shuffled toward him, their lips twisted into sickening smiles. "There's nowhere to run, Toby," Derek's voice echoed behind him. "They're everywhere." In the chaos, Toby stumbled into the kitchen, hoping to find some kind of weapon, something to defend himself. But the sight he saw made him freeze in terror. The cooks, too, were changing. Their once human forms were now indistinguishable from the nightmarish zombies outside, their flesh rotting, their eyes vacant. The virus had spread faster than anyone had anticipated. Toby could feel it then. The pull, the hunger, deep in his gut. He turned to the counter, his hands shaking, and grabbed a handful of fries. As he brought them to his mouth, a voice screamed in his head, "No, don't." But it was too late. His vision blurred as the neurotoxin took hold, the hunger overtaking his every thought. He dropped the fries, clutching his stomach as his body transformed. He fell to the floor, writhing, his skin beginning to rot, his mind fading into madness. By morning, the town of Millbrook was no more. Golden Bite was shut down, the building boarded up and abandoned. But the people who had once been part of the town were now roaming the streets, driven by an insatiable hunger. There were whispers, rumors, that the experiment wasn't over, that Golden Bite wasn't the only place where the virus was being spread. The hunger had only just begun, and it was coming for you.